Hello, everybody. This is Mo back with you again. I'm here with Barney today, another one of the unsung Gridiron legends. He was a two-sport star at Academy High School in the late 80s, and he played football, started on the football field and on the basketball court. Kurt, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing great, Mo. Thanks for having me here today to tell my story.
Yes, sir. We appreciate you coming to take the time out your schedule. Honored to have you here today.
Appreciate it.
So let's start off, Kurt. Tell me about what city, what state you grew up in.
Born and raised in Erie, Pennsylvania. My mother's the eldest female of the Barneys. She's the second oldest. My Uncle Oliver is the first oldest. My mom's the second oldest of all my aunts and uncles. I can't give a quite number of how many aunts and uncles I have at the moment, but my mom's the oldest female, and now she's the oldest living sibling. Well, oldest sibling of the Barneys right now.
Okay, all right. So you grew up in Erie. Where did you grow up? What part of Erie did you grow up in?
Well, actually, it's funny. I grew up at my grandmother's house, grandmother and grandfather's house. That's where I spent most of my time at growing up. My mom worked a lot, so pretty much I grew up in the Barney household on 26 and Pennsylvania Avenue.
Okay. Anything you remember about the neighborhood?
Yeah, it was. Oh man, it was funny. I mean, everything about me starts from there. It was time my grandmother and grandfather, just always had all the grandkids at the house. I mean, Robbie, everybody met up.
All together.
Everybody met up there. Everybody after school, we met up there till our parents came to pick us up, did our homework there, ate peanut butter and jelly sandwiches after school, and did our homework until our parents came to pick us up. And then we all went home. So that was sort of the highlight. Everybody looked forward to meeting up. All my little cousins, we all met up at the house after school on 26 and Pennsylvania Avenue.
Yeah.
Which was a beautiful time growing up there. And like I said, in neighborhood, we used to go on, my grandma used to take us on bus rides through the city. We just get on the back of the bus and eat crackers and ride from the Presque Isle all the way through the city and get dropped back off on 26 in Pennsylvania on the bus and walk back home. Those were one of the outings that we used to do all the time in the summer months with my grandparents. Sleepovers on the porch, which you can't do today, I'm sure. You know what I mean?
Yes, different day and time today.
Oh, no doubt about it.
So it's funny you talk about how close your family was, because I remember when you the softball, back in the softball days, and I used to see the Q's Plus softball team, and I always admired, how y'all families seem to be so much together, and camaraderie. Yes. You know what I mean? And you got the guys playing, you got bat boys that's on the. I always admired that, man. So that's one thing. Just somebody looking from the outside, I always admired that. So how did you first get into sports? Did you play in the neighborhood? Did you play organized?
It all started at the house. At the house with actually my Uncle Greg. He's like 2 years older than me. That was sort of that's my big brother. That was like my big brother, my role model. He played whatever he played, I played. I had to walk with him. The thing about him, Uncle Greg never being a little older than me. He was always waiting for me. It was no problem with me going with him, following him. Mm-hmm. We just get on the bikes, ride through the alleyway, pick grapes, go through the plum trees. It's football, especially. I don't really remember. I wasn't really in Bay City. My first team. I played for the Erie Fire Department. I never forget we had Bee Stinger helmets and shit. I don't know if you remember them.
Oh, yeah.
We had the Bee Stingers. Greg played for a bigger team than me, but he always took the time out to make sure I'm with him. We ride to practice. We practice at Joe Connell. I don't recall, like I said, I wanted to do whatever my Uncle Greg did, so I really followed his lead. He was the only one I visually was able to see. I seen Uncle Lee, but I was younger. I remember growing up seeing Uncle Lee, hearing him at Academy, going to the games, hearing him call his name, running up to the stadium, trying to get in the stadium, because I'm hearing, oh, Lee Barney's on the catch. Mm-hmm. And I just remember those times running up the hill, my grandmother and them behind me. I'm trying to get in the stadium just to see him. So I think that's the love I got, just noticing, seeing going there as a little kid, watching my Uncle Lee play football and being the man on the team. And with Uncle Greg, I really, like I said, I don't recall being, because I think baseball was more my sport growing up as a kid. I really got into football when I got to high school. Even though I played, me and Uncle Greg, I wasn't a factor. I was too big. I remember my mom caught me sleeping in the bed. I had garbage bags on me to lose weight. And then once she came in the room one night to wake me up for some reason and see me with all these garbage bags on, she was like, "Oh, this is it. You're playing for the bigger kids. You're done.
Right, you're not losing this weight.
Right, you're not going to be sleeping with garbage bags on to lose weight." Right. So I moved up to the bigger kids, and I was like I said, I was big. So I remember I played the line. I really wasn't a factor in Little Leagues football, but Uncle Greg, he was playing for the bigger teams, and he was pretty good. He was good at it. So I just really was just going to practice, going with him. The funniest story is that we lived on 17th Street, and our house got a little fire. It caught on fire. We had to run outside, and I runs back in the house and runs in my room and grab my football equipment. This time I'm playing for the Steelers in Little League football. I'm playing for the Steelers. I run in there and grab my football equipment because I had to practice that day. So my mom, they all clowned me about that. They said, "Well, I don't believe you ran back in the house and grabbed your football." Right. So
wow,
it's just
story.
It's just a lot of different stories. I mean, just the journey of just playing sports and I really didn't know my baseball became, because like I say, football. At that age, I really was just playing. I wasn't playing no running receiver, no quarterback. So I really was on the line. I really didn't know. I really wasn't a I didn't think I was
maybe
really
like a skill type position, like
right. So I was just
what was considered a skill position at that time.
Right. So I was just pretty much on the team. I felt.
Okay.
But a lot of my work came sitting at the house, and my uncles would come home, and me and Uncle Greg just sitting on the couch, and it'd be like, and they come in the house. "What y'all out here? What y'all looking bored for? Go downstairs and put the equipment on." So I was a young buck, and Greg being older than me, we just had to go down the basement, put on our Bay City equipment on, and we go head up in front of the house, which only got two little patches of grass, and we're doing Oklahoma drills, me and my Uncle Greg, and I'm like, "Damn, y'all got me hitting my Uncle Greg, and he's a beast." Right. So I think that's where I got my underlying toughness at, just going up against Uncle Greg. Whenever my uncles felt it was time, we were sitting around being bored, and they like, it's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to do something. You ain't gonna be sitting in the house. And so baseball, different story. Baseball, I was more so because my Uncle Greg played baseball, so he was carrying me to baseball. But baseball was more for me. It was an individual. I was able to shine in baseball. I was a pitcher, and I was a home run hitter, and played first base. And my Uncle Greg, he was a year ahead of me. But me and Uncle Greg, I mean, I grew up, and when we came home, baseball was something that we could play. I used to play speedball with Uncle Greg's friends, Jody Motor. I think he played professional semi-pro baseball as a pitcher. And we used to just play speedball off the wall at Holy Rosary. And so we did that every day. So I was able to really hone in on my baseball skills more so than football, because that's something we just did every day.
Right, did it all the time.
In the neighborhood playing. And I became real good at baseball. Uncle Greg hit 3 home runs. I'll hit 3 home runs. We come home, I'll try and hit how many ever home runs Greg hit, I would try and hit. It was just and then pitching, and then actually, first time I met my football rivalry were Rodney Evans and Lamar Williams. They also played baseball. They was pretty good baseball players as well. And we was always in the All-Star games together, but I was always roping them, and they always tell stories how one All-Star game I just struck out the whole side to win the game, but I didn't have I just had straight fastball. I didn't have no junk and
curve and all that. Right.
So pretty much played baseball all the way up until I got to academy. Played football in Little League. Like I said, it really wasn't. It was just me playing because that's what my family did, and that's what I did to follow my uncle. But I had a fun childhood. Played all sports. We played street ball. I mean, these kids now don't go outside to play.
Yeah, not much, right?
No, not at all.
Nope.
No, these kids will tell you it's too hot to go outside. Who says that? and they say it's too cold out. I mean, we couldn't wait to
Go out and play. That was the thing.
Right, go out, shovel. We shovel, put water, make ice rinks. These kids they don't do what we used to do. I'm like, we seen when it snowed. That was the time to go make money, shovel the whole block.
Right, make no money, put in your pocket.
Exactly. So I can't. My childhood was just great. You know what I mean? I had my uncles always there to keep me on the right path, and they led by example. They didn't know. They knew I was watching them. You know, they knew their little nephews would be watching them, and we watched how they maneuver, how they carried themselves, how they interacted in the community, and the respect that they had growing up. So that instilled in me, and I carried on with me as far as how I wanted to be.
Carry yourself.
Carry myself. Right.
So you after you're old enough now, you go into high school, you end up going to academy.
Yeah.
So once you tell me about your high school teams, like what was it like? What was
high school teams. Like I said, I started my freshman year. I played on the freshman team. Let me go back first. The funniest story was, like I said, I was always a chubby kid, and I remember we was sitting around in the circle my first day of practice at academy as a freshman, and all my Uncle Greg's friends that I grew up with that was older, we played together, and the Tulu asked me, because our coach Tulu asked everybody what position they want to play, and I remember he came to me and asked me, and all of my Uncle Greg's friends was like, he playing the line. Put that big boy on the line. He playing the line. And I must have put my head down. I looked sad, like I wanted to cry. And my Uncle Greg stood up and said, "Boy, tell him what you want to play." And I said, "Man, I want to play tight end, defense end like my Uncle Greg." And he said, "That's what I started. That's what I played." You know what I'm saying? It was like, okay, because that was a big thing. I didn't want to play the line.
Right.
You know, I wanted to play what my Uncle Greg played, and my Uncle Greg knew that leading up to that day. Like I'm playing what my Uncle Greg played. So he knew that day when they asked me, and everybody was saying he playing the line. He playing the line. So it meant a lot for me for my Uncle Greg to be like, "Boy, tell him what you want to play."
He stood up for you, right, man? You stood up for yourself.
Yeah.
Did you? So how many years did you play JV, or how many did you play varsity?
I played JV. I played JV my freshman year, and sophomore year I was playing varsity and JV. I really, like I say, my toughness came then actually practicing. Greg playing tight, Uncle Greg playing tight end, I'm playing defense end, and I'm thinking Uncle Greg's gonna go light on me, so I'm practicing against him, even though I was doing it as a young boy, and I got the academy, Uncle Greg was just bringing it to me. He wasn't taking no mercy on me, and I'm coming at him, and Uncle Greg was the best on that team. You know, he was the man for them, for academy, and I'm going head up against him every play, and he's not taking nothing off of me, and I'm like, and I think that got me to be like,
kind
okay,
of making you better.
Oh, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. He was bringing it to me.
Yeah,
so
purposely, right, to make you better, right?
Exactly, and that went a long way, and then like I say, basketball, and it was one of my best fondest memories as a sophomore. Basketball. I played basketball at Wilson, so I was good in basketball. I was scoring in basketball. Basketball became a good sport. Started in our academy. Our hoop squad was real damn good. We had a real good hoop squad all our years there. And actually, the one year we had a squad. We was 2 games from states or whatever. I think one of Sheldon Williams got hurt when we was going to go to states one year. But I started on the low block with my Uncle Greg. I was a sophomore. It was my Uncle Greg, and I was starting varsity basketball. I was a good member that actually played on the same field with my Uncle Greg as far as basketball goes. I really enjoyed that experience, and actually I was a factor, and we were real good. And a lot of people don't know. They tell me I was the first person in the area to have over 1,000 points and 1,000 rebounds playing basketball. Used to play in the Hoya Classic with Kev Williams. He was Kevin, Mike. Every year we got invited to the Hoya Classic. It was in Farrell, PA, I believe. He had John Thomas, St. John's coach, the Big East, all them coaches in the stands. And that's when I realized my basketball career was over. I said, I'm in the area. I was always a post-up player. When I got down to play in the Hoya Classic, I realized I'm a guard, a small guard at that, and I had no handle or none of that. And then some guy, Tillman, I remember he was going to Georgetown. and he flew in. They flew him in from Texas, and he came down the first play of the game. He came down and put the ball in my face and dunked on me. And then I did my little basic Erie move, Erie Academy move, and they threw it. I said, oh yeah, I'm done. Take me out the game. Take me. I said, this ain't me. This ain't me. I ain't a hooper. I ain't a hooper. So that was my experience. So then I said, okay, then. I mean, I did play it all through. I mean, I was good in Erie, but outside of Erie, as far as that goes, no, that wasn't happening. So football in my sophomore year, this is one of my fondest memories too. Also, I remember I got in the game. We played prep, and I got to go against Mark Stepnowski. And at that, I knew I had some because I'm like, he was big and fat too back then. And I'm like, I mean, he was strong, but I was holding my own against him. And then come to find out, well, his career speaks for itself.
Right. Pro Bowl, Hall of Famer.
Right, exactly. So I did get a chance to go against him, and I sort of measured myself up like, damn, I could really, even though he wasn't who he was now, but I was holding my own. And then once again, so the football, and then just because my family did it, it was something, but football was something I didn't really work on. It was something I think I inherited from my family, from my uncles. We were just good at it. So from sophomore year on, I was all city, all everything for academy. Teams, we had good individuals. We weren't, we would win city every year. I won city. I clown with my city people from East. It was East, Vincent, and Tech at the time, and I was in the Upper Bound program. So a lot of us was in the same program together. So it was more so bragging rights. All we cared about really was making sure we beat East, Vincent, and Tech every year, which we did. And we was probably we were the only city team. We gave prep a rumble every time we played them. We was losing, but they knew we.
Right, y'all came to play.
Yeah, they knew. They knew, and it was good. They would tell us like they knew they had to play. They had to step their game up to play us. It wasn't no cakewalk. We was bringing the noise, and like I say, like football was something. I mean, I enjoyed it. This is my first in my junior year at academy. Like I say, I was starting defense. I played defense end, and I played tight end. I was number 3 in the state at my position. When it was all said and done, I was ranked. But this is what got my recruiting going. I remember, I'll never forget my first game, my junior year. We went to some team in the suburbs of Pittsburgh, and I'm like, whoa! It was like freaking standing room only. I never played in that. So many people. There's thousands of people in the stands, and I was unaware of it at the time. But the quarterback, I was actually aware because we were scouting the quarterback that we were playing. He was the #1 quarterback in the country, I believe. And first play of the game, he ran an option my way, and I put him out the game. He was out the game for the rest of the game.
Rest of the game.
Oh yeah, so it's so funny. We comes back that Monday in school. I'm getting calls to the office. Kurt come to the office. So Michigan coach was calling me. Tip Penn State, Joe Paterno, Bo Schemblecker. All of them was calling. It was like that's when my recruiting really started. It was like of course, obviously, you know why we probably here to talk to you. We came to look at we came to scout
They were there to watch him, right?
Watch the quarterback, but unfortunately, you put him out the first play of the game, so we had no choice but to start watching you. So that's really where, after that game right there, it's just, I mean, I was just from the first game my junior year all the way to my senior year, I was just being recruited. Pitt was my main school. I wanted to go to Tennessee. I remember they sent me letters, and I remember the end zone was checkered, and the envelopes had them checkered. Little things like that happened.
Catch your eye. Yeah.
Then Michigan, I wanted Michigan because Michigan had the emblem that we had, Academy emblems on it.
The Wolverines on that.
Right. So that was my thing. That was my first thing. But then Pitt, they showed more interest. They was coming to my basketball games. They was coming to take me and my mom. We was going out to dinner and all that. Oh, and back to Tennessee. I wanted Tennessee, but I remember they came to see us. We played McDowell, and a couple people for the game. They was coming and they was like, "Oh, Kurt, Tennessee in the stands, Alabama." I said, "Ooh," and I don't know if I got nervous, but I had a terrible game against McDowell, and I never forget after the game, the coaches from Tennessee came to the locker room and was like, They said, I said, man, he said, yeah, it happens sometime. And I never heard from him again. So I said, okay, then I guess I'll go. So then Pitt came back into play. Pitt was always the one for me to go to. Like I say, I don't want to say we had good individual players. I don't know what it was. We weren't like you guys when my cousin Robbie and when y'all played. I used to hear about it. I was in school then, but and I came home. I used to come home and watch y'all play. I was like, damn, that's what I was hoping for when Academy merged to that. If we had that back then, I mean, I think you guys maximized that completely, and I was so shocked. My little cousin Chris, golly, he was a hitter. I said, oh my God, I didn't know that. And I'm hearing my uncles and them telling me like, man, you got to see Trouble. We call him Trouble. Yeah. We like, Trouble to one. I already knew Jeff and Robbie was nice. You know, I'm like, damn, I wasn't thinking Chris because he was a little one, and Chris never, he never was into really football growing up, really, that I knew of like that. Man, he was putting people out the game that game I came to see. Yeah. I said, whoa, Chris was a hitter. So I remember that was a fond memory of me coming back and seeing. And I came down, I think y'all played against, North Hills. Y'all played against LeVar Arrington, but he was running over. Y'all played a good game. Did y'all play, was it LeVar Arrington?
Yeah, that was the last game we played.
Yeah, y'all played a good game, but boy, he was like a man against boys, boy. I mean, he was a big boy, but I remember y'all was relevant. Y'all were pretty, I respected that. Y'all, I wish that we weren't on that level then. But like I say, academy football, it was like, baseball, I should have probably stuck with baseball. Like I said, because I was baseball was something I was played all the way up to academy. I don't know why when I got to academy, I really stopped because I was playing football, basketball, then baseball, and then baseball came. It was like, do I walk down the hill with all my classmates, or do I walk up to Bakersfield and go to baseball practice? And it was like, I'm going to walk home.
What up?
I took that. I said, I'm going to go ahead and walk home. So I gave up baseball, which I probably should have stuck to it because I remember, like I say, my Uncle Greg, he was getting letters from all the big time baseball schools. I come home, I see letters from Florida State, Louisville, you know what I'm saying, all them baseball schools. I'm like, gee, because Greg was real. He was real good, and he had as far as D1s goes, he had all kind of D1 baseball offers, and so should have stuck with baseball. I mean, I ain't gonna say I should have stuck with baseball, but I know baseball was something that definitely was. Football was something I never lifted weights. Really,
you had a lot of potential in baseball too, huh?
Right. Yeah. And then, like I say, football was something I just did. You know what I'm saying? I just happened to be good at it, and like I say, then when I first started getting recruited, I don't think, at least our coaches in our school, they weren't prepared for the onslaught of recruits, of colleges coming to see me. They were like more excited than me, and it was like, oh, what are we gonna do? Bo Schembechler's here. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I didn't really, think nothing of it, but I noticed my coaches, the school counselor, they was more excited. And then, and actually the year, I don't know if it was 80, I came out in 87. I think that's when they brought the SAT scores into play. And we never even knew nothing about it.
Didn't prepare for it and all that kind of stuff.
So I remember they would start running me through crash courses to try and catch me up to speed, to take SAT scores and all this. I mean, I was like going to classes. They would send me to school, send me to different places to school. They was all, which they should have been preparing me for that. You know what I'm saying? Right. But they weren't thinking. I guess they were shocked that I was getting.
They weren't up to speed on that kind of stuff.
Right. They weren't at all, and that sort of hurted me. I remember. Lafayette, they came to see me, and I didn't have my, Lafayette's an Ivy League school, and I was already really committed. I in my mind I was going to go to Pitt anyway, but I don't think my math course was up to par for Lafayette. So I remember they was like, what do you recommend? When we came all the way up here, do you recommend anybody, you know what I'm saying, that you would think? And I was like, yeah, my best friend Arth Gamble. So I went and got Art Gamble out of class, and Art, because I knew Art had the classes to go to Lafayette. He had all that, and actually, and it's a blessing because that's where Art ended up going. He got a scholarship to Lafayette, and I feel I played a big part of that as far as, you know, because the coaches weren't doing anything.
They was there to look at you, and then you put your boy out there and
right.
Get a scholarship. That was good.
Right, and you know, and my coach, they were like, "Why would you do that? He's not ready to play on that level." I'm like, "Are you serious? You're crazy." So, you know, we told Big Art, his dad, and his dad handled things, you know. But the blessing is he ended up, you know, and Art played 4 years at Lafayette. You know what I'm saying? He had a successful career there at Lafayette. My thing, so being I didn't take the right courses. I mean, the SAT thing hit me, got me my senior year when I was going to Pitt. So the funny thing about it is, I was like, I had to sit out that semester, and I was like, well, say football, so I mean, I just played football. I'm like, I'm not sitting out. I ain't with that. And I never forget Godfrey. That was my recruit. Mike Godfrey is my recruit at Pitt, and he was like, well, Kurt, let's see, what other offers do you have on the table? And I was getting letters from Cheney University, and they were sending me colorful brochures talking about they play on BT 3 times a year. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, it was all black school. I'm like, ooh, I think I want to go there. And Godfrey, and they was like, okay, well, you could go there, and then you could transfer and after the first semester, the first football season over, transfer in Christmas, well, you know.
Right after the second semester.
Right, transfer to Pitt. And I was like, cool, bet, that's what I would do. And I never forget, but like I say, God works in mysterious. I can't question God's plan. So it was so funny. I came home from Christmas break, and lo and behold, Mike Godfrey and all them was sitting at my dining room table, briefcase open and everything. And I'm like, I said, Mom, I need to talk to you upstairs. And I said, Mom, I really enjoy myself at Cheney. I'm enjoying the experience of being at a black institution. Right? And she was like, I'll never forget, she shed a tear, I shedded a tear, and I was like, she's like, Kurt, well, you know, it's your life. I mean, I would really like for you to go to Pitt, but if that's what you want to do, you know, that's what you're going to go ahead and do it. So I remember coming downstairs, telling them that's what I'm going to do, and they wished me luck and said, you know, and at that moment, what made me go, I forgot, let me back up. So this was sold me at Pitt, my recruit. They flew me from here to Pitt. I was in a plane for like 3 minutes, 5 minutes, up and down. I said, whoa. So I get to the air. It was like crazy. So I get to the airport at Pitt, and I got these, everybody that was recruiting me. It was funny, like even at Michigan, Penn State. And I went to Penn State. Let me back up. I went to Penn State to visit, and they took me to a horse barn and said we could rent horses to go to class. I said, no, I can't do that. No, this ain't it. This ain't it. It was too big of a campus. They talking about we could rent horses to go to class. I said, I canceled that out. And so back to Pitt. So my recruiting visit, it was the craziest thing. They fly me from here to Pitt. I get to the airport. It's all the girls that work in the athletic department. You know what I'm saying? It's so funny. All the recruits I had, even like the girls they'll call, hey Kurt, like they know me for years, and then like both I'll never get both but hey, give me the phone. Oh, Kurt, them just the girls, and they work in the office. I'm like thinking now, like where they had game plans like a mug back there, man. So I get off the airplane and they got my name Curtis, all these fine girls, and I'm riding in a Lincoln limo to campus, and I'm like, all I think of was Ironhead. He was Big East. You know what I'm saying? I was going there. They played Notre Dame. I never forget. It was the last game before they closed the stadium down. They had Gladden, Ironhead, and Charles Smith. That was the basketball team, but the basketball team was real nice, and I was hanging with them, so they thought I was a basketball recruit. And so mind you, I'm 18, and I'm like, now first of all, my mom told me, said, Kurt, now Pittsburgh is bad. Before I went on my recruit, don't do this, be careful with your surroundings and this and that. So anyway, Gladden scored. They beat Notre Dame like 55. They blew them out. I'll never forget. And so we get off. So when I get to the facility from the airport, they was like all the way to the airport. They telling me to the facility. The girls saying, well, whatever you do, don't hang out with Ironhead. He's ignorant. I'm like, damn, that's the only person I want to hang out with. You know what I'm saying? It's like, he's ignorant, he's rude, and this and that. And the story was that the only reason why he went to Pitt was because he was so good in sports and football, but the paper boy threw his newspaper in the rain. It got wet, and he beat the paperboy up so bad. So it was either he go to juvenile detention or he utilized his and go to pit, whatever. So he ended up going to pit. So anyway, so I get to the facility. I'm seeing Bill Frelick, Dan Marino, Tony Dorsett, all their stuff all glassed up in the locker room. I'm like, whoa, gee. And Iron Hood sitting on his stool. He's like, Barney, come here. I'm like, oh, like a little kid. Like, he said, you're with me. I'm your host this weekend. I said, oh, great. So I'm with him. I mean, just experience. I mean, it was like, I was like, wow. Back then in '87, it was like, it was big time. It was big time. So I'm like, that's my first time going there. If people know about the old originals in Pittsburgh, that's a big thing. So anyway, so they beat Notre Dame. We go in the locker room. Platinum, he scored 3 touchdowns. They all celebrating. They like, it's on tonight. So they turn in their cleats. They got a check. They call it laundry money. He's like, don't say nothing. I'm like, whoa, I don't know if I should be, well, it's NIL now. But they was getting laundry, they was calling laundry money back then. So I'm like, they was getting checks for the games back then. So anyway, long story short, I hung out with them. Ironhead showed me a great time that whole weekend. I'm like, wow, I'm with him, and me and him became real tight. And so he was writing me. Me and him became friends all the way until he died. He was writing me when I was up Cheney.
Craig Ironhead,
yeah,
Hayward, right?
Yep, his son plays for him. Yep, exactly. Right. Exactly. So just my recruiting experience, it was lovely. It was great. But like I say, I was never, and like I say, football for me, I was never into lifting weights. You know what I'm saying? My uncles, I wasn't lifting weights. I was just playing. Mm-hmm. You know, then going to Cheney. If I'd have went to Pitt, I would have had no choice but to work out. You know what I'm saying?
Part of the deal, right?
Right. That would have been, it was discipline would have been there too.
Get up, work out.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. Going to Cheney, and their defense was #1 in the country, but shit, they was going 0 and they would win 1 and they would go 1-9. You know what I'm saying? They had no offense, and the guy was playing behind Big Cat Williams. He played for he was from Pittsburgh, but he played for the Chicago Bears for like 13 years. So I used to crush him every day in practice, and actually that's how I got a look, because the Eagles would be up there, San Fran. We had a lot of pro scouts up there looking at our defense, and the highlight of my thing at Cheney was every in their practice, all the pro scouts, me and Big Jim would go head up, and I would get him, so which gave me a look. They asked me, I got a look to try out for the Eagles. But once again, it was business. It was a business. It's business, and you know what I'm saying. And once again, me not taking it serious as I should have. You know what I mean? I just, but it's a blessing.
Right. So when you look back at your whole athletic career, like all the way back to Little League, high school, basketball, football, college, what are you most proud of?
I'm proud. I think it made me who I am today. You know what I'm saying? I think outside of, I can't say the sports thing is something, playing sports is something I did from as long as I can remember. You know what I mean? So it really wasn't, it was just me being able to be with my uncle. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, I followed my uncle's footsteps. Me being able to hang out with my uncle and follow his footsteps. It was just something that we just did, you know what I'm saying? I remember I used to leave football practice and we'd go down, we'd go home and we'll go play baseball, you know what I'm saying? We'd go play whatever. It was just something we did. Like we didn't take, I didn't say we didn't take it serious. I don't think that, I don't know if the opportunity was there. I don't know if the coaches or they weren't prepared for what the talent we had back then. Because like right now, if it was me today, in this day and age, oh man, you know what I'm saying? It's so much.
Now you can get yourself out there almost. I mean, now with the social media and all that,
right?
A kid can, back then it was videotapes, this, that, VHS stuff. Now every kid got a huddle, their own way of getting their own.
Right. So now I would definitely, my mindset would be, I want to go to the NFL, which that wasn't back in the day. It was just about I'm go to school for free. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't not even thinking the NFL level. You know what I mean? But we had a lot of talent, not just me. We had the talent here, but I don't think the focus, I don't think we had the right guidance as far as the people that are coaches. I don't want to put on coaches, but you know what I'm saying? I don't think they were.
Erie itself might not have been
ready for that. Right. Because I truly believe if our family would have grew up in Detroit or Detroit, where a lot of our family, where my grandmother's from. I mean, we grew up from a big city. We had too many star athletes in our family. That was, I mean, I grew up reading about them. I mean, they were from all the way from my Uncle Ollie to oldest, from my Uncle Robert, Uncle Dale, Uncle Clifton, Uncle Larry. I mean, every one of them. I mean, I was hearing stories. That's what. When I got older and got even through my middle school, I think I played football. A lot of them knew I was a Barney, so you know they knew my uncle. They either played with my uncles or they coached my uncles, and they knew, oh, he's going to play base football. He's going to be a football player.
Right. They knew you had some. They knew you had some ability just because what you come from.
Exactly. So I really had no choice about it, and I liked playing it anyway. But it was like, oh no, I mean, I couldn't go every day. Every day I went to school at academy, and our whole family. I mean, academy was like I couldn't wait to get to academy. It really should have been called Barney Academy. And to me, that's all I knew. It was like,
yeah, y'all definitely got a rich legacy up there. So I did the same thing with everybody. I'm gonna just say one word, and then whatever comes to your mind when you hear that word, just say what comes off the top of your head. So the first word is football.
Football. Hitting. Hitting. I love hitting. I would say hitting. Hitting comes to mind. Football. Great sport. Great team sport. I mean, football is just, it's all sports really, but football, something about football where it just brings black, white. I mean, you don't see no, you know what I'm saying? It's no race. You know what I mean? It's everybody fighting for the same thing. I mean, you know what I mean? My football buddies way back from high school on to college, I mean, we're still brothers to this day. You know what I'm saying? If I see them, you know what I'm saying? It was none of that. You know, it was just one.
Can you get the job done? Really, that's all it's all about.
That's it.
Can you do the job?
That's it.
Once you realize, hey, we all can do the job, there ain't no such thing as
exactly.
No color. I always said it about football and sports.
Exactly. You know? That's what football is. Definitely makes you a better person in life. It definitely does. It definitely brings you across people that you normally probably wouldn't interact with. You know what I mean?
Right. So the next word would be life.
Life is beautiful. Life is beautiful. I can't. And I bless that with how I was raised, my family. You know what I mean? That's one blessing. A lot of things I don't want to overdo it, but I truly can't relate to a lot. I hear a lot of people say, man, family ain't shit. I can't understand none of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, a lot of conversations, I'm like, wow, I'm sure we have issues in our family, but our families, I mean, for me, it's like I could turn to my family for anything. You know what I'm saying? I've been since a little kid. That's how it's always been. From, you know what I mean?
Tight knit family, right together and stuff like that.
Right. That's family is just. That's one of the most blessed, beautiful things that could ever happen to me is to be a part of the Barney family. You know what I'm saying? I think football was just something that we just all did. I'm sure from Uncle Ollie being the oldest, he brought it down to his younger brother, then the next younger brother. It passed down, it passed down, and Uncle Greg was the one at my age, so it passed down to me. And I remember Uncle Steve, I never got to see him play, but I was hearing he playing for the semi-pro team here, Erie Express, playing quarterback, and I remember the stories I used to hear with Big Art Gamble's dad. I remember he was a fullback for him, and Uncle Steve said he used to grab his face mask and be like, give me 2 yards. You know, and Big Art look out and say, I got 4 for you. I mean, just the stories you hear, and they was like, get it, you know what I mean? It's just like the toughness of it. I mean, it was like, it's beautiful.
Okay, last one. What about Barney tradition? You already kind of talked about it. What comes to mind when you?
Family, just the love for family, sticking together. I mean, it's something that was instilled in us, and we're just going to continue to carry the legacy. I mean, it's hard to explain what it means to be a Barney. You know what I'm saying? I live off that name. I mean, it means so much. I mean, it's how it's even walking around the community. I mean, everybody, you know what I'm saying? and I think that's
pillar. Family's the pillar of the community.
Yes, it
one
is.
of the pillars of the community.
Yes, it is. And I mean, like I say, from birth, from my grandparents, you know what I'm saying, all the way down. I mean, it started, my uncles, you know what I'm saying, they'll go upside, they see him out of pocket, they're going upside my head, you know what I'm saying? And it's always been like that, you know what I'm saying? I don't know no other way, you know what I'm saying? And we're blessed, I'm so blessed to have that type of family, because a lot of people aren't blessed with that, you know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things that, you know what I'm saying, that I take so much pride in, you know what I'm saying? It is the Barney name, you know what I mean? It's just, that name means a heck of a lot, you know what I'm saying? And then if you even look out, that name means a hell of a lot when it comes to the Erie Athletics too, you know what I'm saying?
Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame family.
Exactly.
For a long time. You know?
Exactly. I don't know, not to sound crazy, but everyone that was All-American at these things, every uncle I had from Uncle Oliver down was that dude. And whether track, I mean, and not just in football, but in all sports. And then on top of that, like the counselors, my teachers at Academy, like, oh, your uncle, the one, they were great people, you know what I'm saying? Just like they are, your uncle, you know what I'm saying? I love them, you know what I'm saying? The Barney, you come from great tradition, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it was just outside of sports, it was just like how great of people they were, you know what I'm saying? So that really, it ain't say put pressure on me, because I ain't know no other way but to be. But I was raised well. But you know what I'm saying? It was like I had to really watch how I walked in school, watch who I hung out with in school.
People had a certain expectation of you.
Exactly.
Right.
A couple of times when I fell off or to see me, I would get called to the office and be like, okay, Kurt, you know what I'm saying? You know, you need to watch this crowd you hang around with. You got too much going on. At the time, I'm like, that ain't cool. But I understand what they were saying. But, you know, I was my own man. I wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't going to disrespect my family or myself. But I know I had people looking me. To make sure I stayed on the right path. I couldn't act up in the cafeteria like everybody else could. I couldn't cut up in the assemblies, you know what I'm saying, the way everybody else could. You know what I'm saying? I always knew I had that extra eye looking at me to make sure that I was representing the Barney tradition, the way, our legacy. Right.
So as we wrap up, Kurt, any other last thoughts you want to share with the audience, to the listening audience?
Not really. I mean, like I said, we talking about sports. I mean, I would like for these kids, you know what I'm saying, to really, if that's what I mean, it's hot right now, you know what I'm saying? It's been hot for a while, you know what I'm saying? Like my Uncle Dale's grandson, he got a scholarship to I don't know, Dorian, I don't know, you know, DJ, his son, Dorian, he's in Atlanta. He has an offer from every Power 5 school in the country. Just got USC, Alabama, everyone you want to mention. He has a scholarship. He's a sophomore. You know what I mean? It's like, and then my cousin, Uncle Ollie's grandson in California, he has got big Power 5 offers. I mean, it's real. It's real out there. I would take it serious, you know what I'm saying? I mean, don't just, you know what I'm saying, get your grades right, stay focused if that's what you want to do. I mean, if you're good in sports, there's an out. There's an out now. It's truly an out. And I think Erie done caught up there. And that's one thing I found out. If you're good, they're going to find you. You know what I'm saying? So if you put in the work, you know what I'm saying, put God first, and just try to be the best you can be, and just don't, you know, just take it for granted. Just don't take it for granted. Just put in that extra effort if that's what you want to do. And there's a way that you can maximize your athletic potential if that's what you want to do. But first and foremost, if nothing else, being involved in sports, it'll round you to be a better person in life. You know what I'm saying? You'll be able to maneuver in the business setting, whatever you want to do in life. You know what I'm saying? Sports will give you a jump. Yeah, to get you a jump on things. It'll be the person you want to be. Period. Right.
So everybody, today we was glad to have Mr. Kurt Barney here today. Once again, he's an Academy football and basketball legend. Part of the great Barney family from Erie, Pennsylvania.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, I forgot. You've got my fondest moment. I have to mention this. Yeah, and listen up, all my tech people. Y'all know that Monday Night Football game when we was down 20-0 at halftime. And the funny thing, it got delayed because I think Friday was a snowstorm or something, a rainstorm, and it was a Monday night game. And you know, I'm playing against all my buddies, Rodney Evans, Daryl Gamble, Herman, Bruce, the whole crew that I have to see every day, talking smack the whole year. Everybody looking forward to this game. We're down 20-0 at half, Mo. I'm like, we're lined up. Rod and them, yes up, Kurt, what's up, Kurt? They talking during the game, what's up, Kurt? We busting y'all, we busting y'all. I'll never forget, we going to halftime, man. Our coach ain't got to do that. I did the halftime speech, like, what is going on? So, in these long stories short, we came back and beat them boys, and I scored the winning touchdown in the corner. I hate to say it, Sam Carroll, you my man, but you know you was too little to guard me. You know that play, and it's so funny, right? And thanks to my Uncle Steve, he called that play. He called that play. The two little guys, he's like, what should we run, Kurt? What should we run? And my Uncle Steve was like, down and out. You know you should run. He can't hold Kurt. Run him on a down and out. He can't hold him. And he said, oh, down and out. Boom. Beat him to the corner. So that was a game-winning touchdown. That was the fondest moment. I think that goes down as one of the best games ever. And it got to go down as one of the best games ever. Everybody talks about it. Actually, we're going to get together with Herman Gamble this summer. He has a footage, and we're all going to get together and
watch it.
Yeah, relive that moment. Yeah.
Okay.
Did you remember that?
I don't remember the game. I've heard a lot about it. But what year was that? That
was my senior year, I believe. Yeah, senior year. Okay. Yeah. That was a year. Yeah. I don't mean to toot my horn that game, but yeah, that's the game. I took Bruce out the game and caught him on trying to do a pitch, caught the pitch and ran. Yeah.
No, it's funny you bring that up though. You caught the winning touchdown because in '93 Rob did the same thing. Because okay. Rob, you know, we're playing prep and he catches the winning touchdown for us to win that game. So, which I say in the '90s, that was probably to me one of the top 5 plays to be made in the '90s. So.
There we go. Yeah, there we go. And see, I think Rob, he always say he looked up to me. He played it. Rob, man, Jeffrey. Oh man, y'all, you, Quinn. Oh man, I was getting phone calls. That's one of my fondest memories too. I made sure I had to come home to see, and then I was in Pittsburgh. I said, I gotta go when y'all played against Northfield. And I said, damn, I think I think y'all had to be. I think where y'all rank yourself as one of the better teams. I think y'all had the best team I ever knew.
We was pretty good.
No, you know, you was the man. Y'all was a pretty good.
A lot of great teams came through, man. A lot of great teams, a lot of great athletes. Yeah. We was just happy, you know, that our 4 years in high school, we was happy that it turned out the way it did because we was working towards that the whole time. So it finally turned for us. But it's so many great teams that came through here,
but
man.
Y'all gave a light to what Central should have been. You know what I'm saying to me? I mean, I'm like, wow, that was the thought process I had that when I didn't like that they combined it. But I'm thinking, woo, wow, that could be something beautiful, you know what I'm saying, where we can compete at a national level or bigger, you know what I'm saying. But hopefully it could still involve to that. But that was something that I seen. I was like, that's where we should be at today.
Every year doing that.
Exactly.
So hey, we're here with Kurt Barney. If you'd like to be interviewed, you can also be interviewed. You can find the page, the new football group. It's called Unsung Gridiron Legends. If you'd like to be interviewed, you just look the page up on Facebook, request to be a part of it. It's a big group we got going on, just a big football conversation. We want to talk to guys from all over the country. Once again, hey, thanks, Kurt, for being here today. Appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mo.